Hey guys, my name is Eris. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Ricky Fashion Icon. And okay, this is my first post for the year, right? Yes, so happy new year and welcome to 2021. 2020 wasn't funny, so let's hope this year goes better. So I actually didn't post through December because I had so much going and plus the holidays and everything, and I wanted to make sure that I moved from where I was because it was really small and it was beginning to get really tight. I needed more space to expand. And today I am actually going to review the leather sewing machine. Okay, this was something I was supposed to do last year, and I am really thankful that I did not do it because I had just one sewing machine then. It was a post bed industrial sewing machine. But luckily for me, I have been able to get two more. I may be saying bye to my first one, but while I still have all three with me now, I just want to review them back to back. And I think this is best. So based on what you are into, if you're doing shoes, if you're doing bags, then you could decide what's best for you because they are all good, but you actually have to pick them based on what you do. And that was a mistake I made. I don't know, the vendor, she was so mean. I was trying to ask questions about it, but she really wasn't interested, and she actually insisted I buy the post bed because that was what she was selling. And I fell so hard for that. And I got the wrong sewing machine first. So lucky for you, you're gonna watch this video and it'll be easy for you to decide exactly what you want. And there is actually a bonus. So there is something about industrial sewing machines. There is the machine itself, that is just the head, there is the table, and there is a motor. So the cylinder bed that I got, I actually got a servo motor. So when I'm done talking about the three types of when I'm not talking about three types of sewing machines, then I can talk about the motor and the difference, the pros and the cons. And if I am feeling up to it, I could actually move one step ahead and review my skiving machine. So that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can hit me up on Instagram at Eris_Atelier or my personal page at Eris Ockman, or you could go check out my website www.erisatelier.com, or if you're feeling formal and corporate, you could send me an email on erisatelierlagos@gmail.com. So now let's get to work. So welcome to my YouTube channel again. So today I'm doing something different as opposed to my usual tutorials. So I'm just going to give like an overview of the different sewing machines and what they do and what really sets them apart. So I'm just going to show you guys around a bit on the three types of sewing machines that they are, and let's get to it. So the first is the flatbed industrial sewing machine. This type of sewing machine is actually really good for people who are just starting and for beginners, and you don't really have a steady hand yet. So I'm going to recommend this one for you because it's basically called the flatbed because it's flat. You can lay out your work, or you could just sew easily without having to glue or to pin or anything. And I'm just going to give you guys a demo on how the foot works because there are different types of foots, and this one has a walking foot. So let's use this piece to give a little demonstration. So basically the walking foot, it's just two independent presser foots moving side by side. That's it. There's nothing else to it. So the threading comes from put the thread on the thread holder, you take it through the tension knobs and through the different points, and this basically ensures that your thread doesn't cut while you sew. So the other functions are, on this side you have a knob that controls the size of the stitches and a little lever here that controls the direction. This addition is for rolling the bobbins when you are sewing. So second here is the cylinder bed industrial sewing machine. This one is similar but also different. What really gives a difference is the type of bed. So this one is basically just mid-air, it's just floating around, and it's really good for more experienced bag makers. You need a steady hand for this type, even though you have the walking foot already holding down your work, but you also need a steady hand. So unlike the flatbed, you don't have anywhere to lay your work out. So most times when I work on this, I have to glue things together, or I have to pin them so they don't sort of move around while I'm working. So as you can see here, it's basically a bag making sewing machine because of this particular function. You have the ability to suspend your work mid-air while you sew, and you don't have this type of space with the flatbed sewing machine. So you see, so the difference is just the bed. It's also similar to the flatbed because it's basically the same threading, okay, a little bit different on the tensions, but yes, it's also similar threading. But this one is a little different on the right because you have just one thing that does two functions. So you twist this knob to control the size of your stitch, and the lever moves up and down to control the direction. At least that makes sense. You don't have enough hands, you only have two hands. So as you can see, this is a cylinder bed industrial sewing machine. The bobbin casing goes just at the tip of this point here, because the idea is to be as small as possible to fit into, even if you're sewing like a tiny purse, it's also possible with this type of sewing machine. So I'm just going to cover this back while we move to the next one. So if you're one of my older subscribers, you would recognize this from my earlier projects. This was my first industrial sewing machine, and it's a post bed industrial. So this one doesn't have a walking foot like the other two. It actually has a roller foot. I'm going to show you guys soon. I'm just showing you the parts, and these parts are basically the same in all three sewing machines. So what really sets them apart is just the bed. So here is a roller foot, and it goes in and out. It's also similar threading, and you can see why it's called a post bed, because it's literally just a post standing on its own. So I'm just going to thread this and I'll show you guys a demo. And okay, in my personal experience, this is actually not so bad for making bags. It's just that you're kind of limited. But if you know you don't have the money to buy two different sewing machines and you're making both bags and shoes, I will recommend this for you. So you can make like a more complex shoes like brogues and oxfords and stuff, while you can still make bags and everything. So it's actually the best sewing machine if you're going to be making both bags and shoes. But if you're going to be making only bags, I would recommend a cylinder bed. But if you're going to make both bags and shoes, I would recommend the post bed industrial sewing machine. So let me get a piece. Let me show you guys how the foot rolls. If you're a new subscriber, this should be new for you, but if you're one of my old subscribers, you would definitely have seen me use this machine so many times, literally every time. So you drop the wheel on the work, and because it's leather, and leather doesn't really work with the normal presser foot, so you need something that is mobile. So if it's not walking, it's definitely rolling. So just take it down a bit so you can see closely. The roller just sort of rolls over the work while holding it down while you sew. So it's pretty simple. If you're already familiar with domestics, industrial should not be a problem. All you have to do is just learn how to control your speed and how to keep your foot up and not rev it like you're driving a Benz. So I'm going to trim these, and you see it's basically just a regular sewing machine. So quickly, this is a clutch motor. It's actually the loud one that vibrates when you turn on your sewing machine, and on this side it's a servo motor. It saves well, according to the company, they claim that it saves 70% of the power as opposed to the clutch motor. But what really sets them apart is the fact that you cannot control the speed with the clutch, but you can reduce your speed with the servo motor. So here you have the plus and the minus sign. You can reduce the speed to whatever you want it to be, or increase it if you are very professional and an expert. But no matter how you step on it, it never goes beyond the speed you selected. So that's like majorly the selling point for this. Bonus, the Bell skiving machine. So this has a similar setup to the sewing machines too, so I figured why not just add this one, because it's the same table, the same motor, the same literally everything. The only difference is just the head. And basically skiving is just, simply put, thinning out the leather. So I'm going to zoom in here. This is where all the action takes place. There is a stone under it that pulls the leather in while you skive, while the cup itself is basically a sharpened blade that rotates and skives. So I'm going to get a piece to show you guys. So if you're doing any major adjustments, you're going to do it right at this point. So while the cup moves, the stone drags it in. So you just sort of have one job, which is just to hold your leather steady. You don't get to push, you don't get to pull. Just sort of feed it through while the stone pulls it, and it skives perfectly. So this is the foot. You can raise it and you can drop it. This is like a seam guide. It controls how far in you want to skive. And this knob controls the thickness of leather you want to skive. You want it to be thin, you want it to be thick. That is what controls the thickness. And moving down to the many knobs, this one controls the grinding stone. This is the one you want to sharpen. I'll literally have to make a post on that. This controls the distance from the cup to the stone. So many things. And this controls it's basically for sharpening. I will have to do this because this machine is kind of complicated. It's kind of complicated. But this is just an overview, just to give you an idea of what it looks like and how it works. So I'm giving you a side profile here, so you see how the cup spins and the blade cuts, and you sort of have the pieces of skive leather falling through. And that's why I had the plastic bag at the bottom to catch anything. If not, you're going to be sweeping every time you get to skive, and it's very annoying. And voila! Something I used to do in more than 30 minutes, I do in 3 seconds. So all you need is also a steady hand, like every other thing in the studio. A steady hand and a lot of patience, and you get to skive in literal seconds. So thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I would love to see you guys on my next post. Happy New Year, and thank God we made it to 2021.